plan, which I will be presenting on this morning. If you bear with me just while, so hopefully you can all see my slides now. So this will be a fairly high-level introduction to local skills improvement plans, or LSIPs as they're known. In particular, our local skills improvement plan for the local London sub-region, and there'll be an opportunity to ask questions or make comments at the end. So what is an LSIP? We're all aware of the issues facing the labour market, such as the high vacancy levels and high levels of economic inactivity, particularly following on from the pandemic. Well, that's where the LSIP comes in. They were introduced by the Department for Education as part of the Skills and Post-16 Education Act in 2022. They are intended to be an employer-led and data-driven plan for better matching training provision to employer skills demand, in order to help employers meet their skills gaps and to fill vacancies, I guess, and ultimately get more Londoners into work. It's worth saying it's a national initiative, so you'll find one in every part of the country. So elsewhere, the development of LSIPs were mostly led by chambers of commerce. Within London, it was led by Business London, what used to be called London First, and they developed one pan-London LSIP for the whole of London. And then under that, each of the 4 sub-regions were responsible for producing an annex based for their sub-region, based upon local evidence, local need, identifying local priorities, and setting out local recommendations. And that was basically an LSIP in itself. So as part of our process for developing the plan, we carried out an analysis of the key data for our area, such as using the Employer Skills Survey and the Labour Force Survey. And following this analysis, we identified 5 priority areas for the local London sub-region. Those are health and social care, construction and the built environment, digital and creative, manufacturing, and transportation and storage. And they're based upon employment size for our sub-region, relative size, whether they're mayoral priority sectors, and also local strategic priorities, particularly for boroughs. So you'll see that whilst health and social care is significant in size in comparison to both London and the country as a whole, manufacturing is larger just in comparison to London. And it also includes areas that we know will become more significant in the future. So digital and creative is the best example of this, which we all know is not massive in size currently, but we anticipate it being that in the future. And it's also a sector which, whilst a sector in its own right, it's also their skills that are relevant to all the other sectors too. So following an analysis of the data, we held a number of stakeholder workshops, in particular with key employers and sector leads, and also with providers. We had one-to-one interviews also with colleges and employers, and we also held an online survey. And on the 14th of September, we published our LSIP, and that is it. We will attach a link to it in the chat, but you'll also find it on our website. It's worth saying that the Department for Education sees LSIPs as the main drivers of skills provision in any area. So whether you're a borough council, the GLA, or a central government department, the LSIP should be informing your training or education policies and decisions. If you're a college or a training provider, it should be informing your curriculum. And it should also be informing skills policy, among other developments such as the Thames Freeport or the Thames Estuary Production Corridor. So the LSIP focuses on our 5 priority sectors that I've set out, and it sets out the issues raised by stakeholders in those sectors and specific skills gaps in those sectors. But it also raises a number of recommendations for the local skills and employment system to consider. You can read those more fully in the LSIP itself. I don't propose going through them today, but to just give you a flavour, they include recommendations such as providing more assistance for residents and businesses in navigating the training provision landscape, providing information about career pathways that are available through different training courses, increased focus by providers on skills over qualifications, greater flexibility in how skills training is delivered, including modular courses and online courses, and increase in alternative provision in for example, digital skills, green skills, ESOL, etc. So what's next? Within local London, we'll be looking to respond to some of the specific points raised in our engagement exercises. We'll continue to engage with those sectors that we identified and we were working with, and we'll still be looking to identify appropriate sector-led forums where we can continue our conversations with those employers. So, for example, we're currently engaged with the Mayoral Creative Academy, North East London NHS Careers Group, and the London Construction Training Group. And we'll be looking for appropriate forums for our other priority sectors too. And we welcome any recommendations for either employers in our area or forums in our area, or individuals indeed from businesses who are good representatives of those groups who wish to engage on the LSIP. More widely, we'll be looking to hold events and continue the engagement we've begun with employers. This will have two purposes: one, to address the sector-based issues raised by stakeholders and to find sector-led solutions, but also to keep the LSIP reflective and up to date of those sectors. As part of our LSIP engagement, we also heard from employers about the issues they're having in navigating the skills landscape. So we'll be looking for ways in which we can support employers and businesses in navigating the skills system more easily. And we'll be looking to engage with employers and employer representative groups, chambers, and brokerages to see how we can supplement the work that they already do with businesses. We want to use the relationships that we've built up and the learning we've gained so far to evolve our employer engagement. So we expect the LSIP to influence our other programs, the other programs of work that Local London do, and we'll be seeing how that each of one of those programs can reflect the LSIP and the sectors that we've identified. And the LSIP will also inform the other work that we do and the conversations we have. In fact, we've already had meaningful discussions with the GLA, who are keen to engage on all 5 of London's LSIPs on how we can come together to address the priorities and recommendations we've identified. So, for example, on issues such as ESOL training, where there isn't the support that there previously was, that's an area that they're very keen to see how they can provide additional support in that area. And also, as part of DfE, we'll be carrying out an annual review on progress. In order to support this piece of work, we're engaging a new member of the team who will be an LSIP employer engagement officer, who will be specifically looking how we can engage with employers, identify new employers we can partner with, and seeing what additional support we can provide to them. And that role will be shared between ourselves and LSEC, the London South East Colleges, and we'll be leading on both our LSIP and also the LSIF, which I'm just going to briefly provide an update on now. And this is good news, really. So to work alongside the LSIP, DfE have set up the Local Skills Improvement Fund to build the capacity in the FE sector to help meet the priorities set out in the LSIPs. Within our sub-region, LSEC, London South East Colleges, have been nominated to be the lead provider, and they've reached out as part of their development to 23 learning providers across the FE, HE, independent and adult education sectors. And they've successfully bid for 6.5 million for our sub-region, which will be the LSIP project that will be, as I say, one of our officers will be working upon. That will be leading on 2 projects. The first one, which will be led by LSEC themselves, will be setting up 21 immersive hubs across the local London area, focused on digital skills. And then another project led by Newham College, focused upon green skills, specifically within the built environment. And that will involve 11 complementary bids. So very much like the LSIP, the focus of this work is on collaboratively and working collaboratively, joining up sectors and creating links between providers and employers, and particularly, creating those additional links and joining up the system. So, and that's really all I have to say. So it's a high-level introduction. As per the advert, I've hopefully successfully explained what an LSIP is, although not necessarily what it means to employment advisors, but I'm happy to take questions on those now. Just to stress really that it's an ongoing piece of work, and hopefully you'll begin to see the join up across the training and skills landscape, and hopefully begin to see it bearing fruit in the work that you do. And I say happy to take any comments or questions.
I think you may have stunned them into silence, Phil.
Always the way.
Just for if any of you are looking for the actual LSIP document, it is in the chat. So for any of you who wish to read the document at your leisure, it can be found in the chat and on our website.
And that should read, mind the skills gap, not mind the kills gap.
Wow.
Sorry about that.
I didn't notice that.
Also to flag that on our website, you'll find the London one as well if you want to see what additional findings the London have, which will also be relevant for our area, and we'll also be looking to work with Business London to see how we can support them in responding to their recommendations.
Perfect. Okay then, so on that note, if there aren't any questions, we'll end this broadcast. Thank you very much for your time, and if there are any questions afterwards, please feel free to mail us and we will get a response to you. Thank you very much.
I'll add our email. We have an LSIP email address, which I will also put in the chat, which you'll have access to once we end the call. But yeah, I can do that now.
Perfect. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.